Well, we're here with the World War II vet Mike Salapatek, who has very graciously allowed us to come into his home and talk to him about some of his experiences during that era. And we call them the greatest generation area for a good reason. They were the greatest generation. So, Mike, thanks for coming on our show today and being with us on Discover Tinley.
My pleasure.
Now, you grew up in this area, didn't you? Where did you grow up in this area?
I was born in Blue Island, Illinois,
Okay.
93 years ago. And then I moved to Tinley Park about 27 years ago, and that's where I've been until now.
Wow. So you're a longtime Tinley Park resident too, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually in a VFW. I got a lifetime membership over there with 3580 Patrick Street, Highland. I got a lifetime membership over here at 2791 Berman.
Oh, my. You've been around for a while.
74 years.
Okay. Now, during that, you grew up during the 30s and 40s,
Yeah.
right? What was kind of like in that era of time?
Actually, when I grew up in 1926, of course the Depression was 1929. I didn't recall too much of it, but I know Herbert Hoover was running for the office, and one of the things he was running on, he was saying that everybody would have 2 cars in every garage and a chicken in every pot. And what happened when the Depression came, 29, these guys that had all of this money, they were jumping out of the high-rise building without parachutes.
Ooh.
But that didn't make us happy in any which way. We didn't have no worries to worry about.
Yeah.
And that was the start of it all. But during the Depression, we lived through it all. We didn't have enough money to worry about it. Fortunately, my dad worked for the Rock Island Railroad, and he had a job that was like a car oiler. And we had little income throughout the whole thing. And we survived. And one of the things was, everything, there was no can openers in them days. We grew everything from the plants. We had a garden, this is truthful now, about 2 or 3 blocks from our home along the Calumet Canal. And we planted all of the, whatever we're going to grow up in, so cabbage and this and that. One of the amazing things was, our garden, nobody would ever do anything to take anything out of it. That was the way it was in them days. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, that is
and
amazing.
My mama, she would make from scratch.
Of
if
course.
she wanted to have a chicken, she wanted to make sure she could see it live before it went dead.
Oh, jeez.
And a duck, she chopped an egg and make, they call it charnina in Polish.
Yeah.
Duck's blood soup.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Oh, my goodness.
So we really, unbelievably, I didn't have no problems
You
with
did
nothing.
pretty good. Now, when did you join the Navy, and why did you join the Navy?
When I got to be 18, I registered for the draft, and within a short time, Roosevelt gave us greetings, and I was drafted.
Oh, you were drafted?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So then I went to boot camp at January 13, 1945, Great Lakes Naval Station, and it was about 6 weeks or something like that. The most memorable time of that was one time we were praying, and we had Chinese admirals. They were on our side at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And that was done. And then after it was all done, we were loaded on a troop train, and we went to Shoemaker, California. And over there, we were just, actually it was really waiting. You get in line to eat, and and then really a short period of time, because the action that was going on at Okinawa, and the Japanese were using kamikaze because they had nothing left to go with them, and they were doing a tremendous, actually serious job against our troops and no naval losses. And what happened then, they put us on a troop ship with about 5,000 of us, and we were going on at that time and we just go every way you go zigzag, because we didn't have no naval escort. So, and because of that, it's for submarines, so they don't get you. So as we were going over there, around April 19th, we heard that President Roosevelt died. And that was said, and Harry S. Truman got to be the president. So as we keep going over there, then we heard on May 8th, we still didn't reach our destination, that Germany and Italy, the Axis, accepted unconditional surrender. I thought to myself, oh, this whole thing will be over before anything happens. And then after that May 8th, we were at Ulysses. That's a little bit of a structure. All of the 3rd Fleet was over there. And I was assigned to the USS Independence in the engineering. And I was making fresh water out of seawater. And the reason we were, well, actually, let me see. Gotta watch what I'm saying.
That's it.
What happened within a short period of time, like I said, that was Admiral Halsey's 3rd Fleet. 3rd Fleet was made up of 4 units. There was 38, 1, 2, 3, and 4. One of the units was British, and the other 3 were American. Our unit, we found out, was in 38.4. Admiral Halsey's flagship, the New Jersey, USS New Jersey, was on the left side of us on the port side. Port is left, starboard right. We left and we went back into the Okinawa area. The thing was still going on. It went on until the end of June yet. So after 4.5 months, I had a battle star, which I wouldn't let anybody take away from me.
That's right. That's right.
and anyhow, that's what we were going to. As we were going over there, then on June 5th, our whole fleet was off the coast of Kyushu, and that's the southern part of Japan, and we were in a typhoon.
Oh.
God awful. And anyhow, our whole ship was dipping this and this, and our bow was almost ready to ship water and all of that. And one of the ships in that thing, USS Louisville, it had a bow sheared off. Now, in condition able, all of the ships have their compartments sealed from each other's. So the bow didn't sink, the ship didn't sink. So one of the jokes that make always a funny thing out of it, they said the USS Louisville made the same port on the same day at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
The bow and the other part didn't sink.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Then after that, we went into Leyte Gulf in the Philippines, and we were just waiting over there. And because the war was over in Japan, I mean in Europe, there were a lot of guys coming in ready for the invasion of Japan. So, and there was a lot of activity going on. So after a little bit of a time, we left on July 1st, and when we were going back into the softening for the invasion of Japan, on July 10th, this was the first time that our airplanes, carrier airplanes, made a raid and hit Tokyo itself. So this was going on, and we going and on and on. And then later on, as we were going in, the whole carrier does this. They go in for their attack 2 or 3 days, and then after that is over, they are pulling back, and then they get refurbished with guns and tanks and gas and you name it. And me, I was waiting for the letters my APA, my Lucille would be sending me. That was it. So the guy said, well, what about the other stuff too? Yeah, that's okay too.
So those letters are important to you.
Oh man. And one of the saddest things, that's why I put a tribute to my wife about they who served. When the guy got a Dear John, and the lady or whatever, they were, these guys were making money and all of that. And it was a sad affair because they were over there. But you know what? I think they're blessed because if that lady couldn't wait for them, it was a good thing.
Oh yeah.
So anyhow, that's the way that things went on.
Wow. And tell us about what you were near the atom bomb sites, Tesla, weren't you too?
Actually, what happened then, Harry S. Truman got to be the president, and at Potsdam, he met with Churchill and Stalin, and they developed this unconditional surrender provision, which Germany and Italy did accept on May 8th. Japan wanted a face type of saving surrender. They know they're going to lose because there was no navy to worry about armor. Our guys took a good job on everything. And the thing was this, they wanted that our American public to kind of give them a break on that. So Harry S. Truman, God bless him, he says unconditional surrender. This is what really happened now. Japan, through Switzerland, they asked for a certain concession. And the concession was they wanted to maintain and keep Hirohito, the emperor, because to die for Hirohito, it's to live forever. He's their god. Harry S. Truman, God love him, he did give him the concession, which I think was great. He said, yes, he could be maintained, but he will answer to our military. And that was it. Because the Japanese warlords, they wanted to go ahead and kill Americans and just die for the emperor and all of that. They couldn't care less about surrendering.
Yeah.
So finally, this is what happened now, truthfully.
Yeah, real briefly, because we only got a couple minutes left.
I'm going to tell you right now. On August 6th, we were off of the coast of Japan, and he dropped the first bomb at Hiroshima. And that was with the B-29, and it was called the Enola Gay.
Right.
That's named for his wife, and Colonel Tippett was the guy. And nothing happened. They didn't accept it, and they lost a lot of guys.
Right.
That bomb did a tremendous job. We couldn't apologize because they did a tremendous job against us in Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yeah.
So then again on August 9th, just 3 days later, the second bomb was dropped on Boxcar, they call it Boxcar. Right. And again, no response. They lost a lot of men. So then finally on August 15th, I said I was working down below on and off. I didn't go upstairs. On August 15th, my joke was I was going up there to see if the sun still was out there. Because I was working, eating, or sleeping.
Oh my.
And I just happened to go on a 50. I don't know what possessed me to do that. We had all of these planes of our whole group's 4 units going in to soften again for the invasion. They didn't reach their drop point yet. Hirohito. And this is what I was told. It's the first time they heard his voice. He's God. He overruled his warlords, and he said they will accept unconditional surrender. The plane didn't reach their drop point, so they were called back. And they dropped their bomb loads in the water, and I went on top side, and the whole sky was blanketed with planes. I couldn't tell you, but buzzing our superstructure. They had belly tanks that give them extended flying times. The water, they would be close to the water. If they hit a good wave, they would even be surviving it. After they were all done and they came aboard and landed, this is truth now. After they were all down there were still about 6 or 7 or whatever, some of them guys that still didn't get the message, kamikaze.
Oops.
So they blew general quarters. General quarters mean man your battle station, and then pilots man your planes. They would have, this is what they said. Admiral Halsey told these pilots, and shoot them down in friendly fashion.
Oh, gee. Yeah, he had a way of saying things very well. Yeah, we only got about a minute left. What's your word to all the veterans?
They did, and I have so many friends. I could tell you, they did it in all different places. Even my brother was in Europe and all of this. And my really tribute, and my eyes were dripping. The guys who did all of the ugly, that made mine. They call it a piece of cake only because we didn't go through with the invasion, because they still saved all them kamikazes for the invasion. They go after carriers. Carriers are floating bombs. We seen in the Franklin one time, this way, one bomb went in there, and it hit their, whatever, the ammunition, about 51 explosions, 1,300 and whatever losses, and they made it all the way back in there. This is what happened if it was going to go there. One of the other things would be this. On this CVO, there's a carrier vessel by Henry Knox. He was the Secretary of Navy at that time with Roosevelt. They needed more carriers. They called them fast carriers. Ours was, we can go 30 knots. That's pretty good, fast. And there were 9 in the class, and Independence was the first. And then USS Cabot, George H.W. Bush flew the TBM, torpedo bomber medium, on the USS Cabot.
Wow.
CBO.
Right.
And he got shot down.
Right. Well, you had quite an experience there. I wish we could spend more time because we're limited time, but you had quite an experience, and your contributions during the war, don't shortchange yourself. You did a lot of good things. All the guys who worked with you did a lot of good there. So.
And I said my tribute, and if you look at that last sentence that I put down there, I said it's for the guys who are the heroic living. They made my piece of cake. The wounded, and those who made the supreme act of sacrifice.
Right.
And I said, I'm just humble to be a part of that group. They spared it,
Right.
because Japan finally didn't complete what they could have done to us.
Right. Well, you hear Michael Salapatek, who is a World War II veteran and did a lot of stuff there. It's quite an experience to go through. So thanks for sharing that with us. I appreciate all you did for everybody and everything like that. Keep those World War II veterans in mind and the greatest generation in mind. Thanks for helping us pay tribute to these World War II veterans. Our next guests are going to be talking about a program that's been a kind of an untold secret in Tinley Park up to now. We're going to let the secret out of the bag. It's a program that was started a few years ago, and it's really a tremendous program conducted by the police department called the Citizens Police Academy. And to talk to us about it are some of the main people involved with it. We have the Chief of Police here, Matthew Walsh, and Barbara Moore, who is the President of the Alumni Association. Welcome to Discover Tinley.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Citizen Police Academy now, what's that all about? What's the Citizen Police Academy?
Well, I'll give a little history first. It actually started in England in 1977, where the police department had a night class for citizens who were interested in what was going on with their police department, the organization and all that. It was a tremendous success, and it still is. Then it came to the United States in 1985 in Orlando, Florida, and again, what they wanted to do is that they were trying to get a group together, the community together, to help with prevention of crime and to teach what's going on in the police department. So that was great, and in 2013 is when Tinley Park. So we've been 7 years. About 150 people have gone through the program.
Wow.
Yep, and it's been very successful, you know, with what they do and what they've taught us.
Wow. So what do you cover? What kind of things do you cover in the course?
Well, what we do is the Citizens Police Academy gives citizens a perspective of what we do every day and why we do it. I always like to bring up the example is people call and they're not happy with something and they expect us to run out and arrest this individual, and we say we can't, and here's why. You know, you may need a search warrant. It may not fit the elements for an arrest. It may, you know, or things like that. What we do is we explain that. We also talk about the department in general, the patrol unit, the tactical unit, the detective unit. We have people assigned to the South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force. Some of the other things is the handling of evidence, the processing of crime scenes, firearm safety, handcuffing. What the Citizen Police Academy does is it's a great way to involve the community. It also gives the PD additional eyes and ears to help us better do our job. One of the things that the feedback we get is the main two areas well, there's three, but the main two that they take out of it as far as information is internet safety and fraud. Internet safety, there's so much going on with that. There's the risks to teenagers, the sexting, the cyberbullying. You have rules that we try to give to the parents to maybe establish at home to kind of protect your children. There's digital forensics. As far as fraud goes, there's financial crimes, there's credit card fraud, there's identity theft, and I find it one of the most exciting of it all for everybody is the ride along. We have them where they, and Barb can speak more to it because she was actually a graduate of 2016, but we have the people in the academy ride along with the officer. They have the opportunity to exit the vehicle or stay in. It all depends on the person. I've gotten feedback where one person would not get out of the car, but they said it was very interesting and exciting. Another person got out and said that they were, for lack of a better term, they were scared. It was an eye opener. It was something that they had never experienced before. So
I wouldn't get out.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how you all do it when you approach an unknown car, an unknown person there. How you have the nerve to get out and approach that person? I give you credit. That's a tremendous job to do. How do you do that?
You know what? It's one of the most dangerous things a
Yes.
police officer can do, and it's probably one of the things you do the most often.
Yes.
Because you don't know what you're going to
Right.
experience when you
Right.
go up there.
Right.
You have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Bart, talk about your experience with the program. What was it like? And then talk about that ride along too. I'd be interested what
Yeah.
that was all about.
I'll tell you, it like Chief said, it was an eye opener. I didn't know what to expect when I signed up and went to the class. And the first day we were there, we get this notebook,
Oh, geez.
and it's empty. It's empty. It's quite thick, as we can see here. And the officer who was in charge of the classes, he said, "We're going to fill this up with all the different classes in the 12 weeks." And I went, "Oh," and he did.
Oop.
So you see, these are all the classes in those 12 weeks,
Whoa.
which is a great reference to look back to, because all the things that Chief was talking about, those were the classes. The thing that I took out of it too was that these officers, especially back in 2016, are our neighbors. They live in Tinley. Their family resides here too, and so these are our neighbors who have families and all that stuff. So you get to know the officers and understand what they go through. It's wonderful. They're a great bunch. And also, what I took away when I had some classes was the scariest was, that they let us drive a squad car. Well, that was
So then you drive it?
yeah, you get
Oh,
to
my
do
goodness.
a lot of the things. It's all hands-on stuff, and so you get behind the wheel, and they're okay. Here's the computer, and here's the dispatch, and here's this radio over here, and there's a light, and there's the sirens, and you're okay.
Okay.
That's tremendous. And then by the time you're ready to get out of the car, I couldn't remember where the door handle was.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's amazing. So yeah, and then you get out of the vehicle and you go to a car that they have this simulated, a police officer that you're pulled someone over, and how you approach and all the things that they do. And again, you don't know what the situation is, but this car was speeding or whatever. You pulled it over, and my experience was the fellow there. He ended up reaching over, got a gun, and it was a fake gun, of course.
Oh.
And just like in the movie, and boom. And I'm like, that was very rude. Okay, I didn't like that at all.
Okay.
And so that was interesting. Another time, what they were doing is when you go into like an abandoned building, you have a simulation, you have the whole gear on, you walk in, and you don't know someone who comes out behind a locker if they're pulling for an ID or whatever, and you're in the dark, you're holding the flashlight, you've got the gun, you say, please, you do whatever they've taught us to do. And again, good guy, bad guy, we don't know.
Right.
So you get a feeling, and your heart is in your throat.
Wow.
It was fun.
I,
We had a really, yeah.
I can imagine. Now, when is this course offered, and how do people get involved with it?
It begins on January 9th. It ends on March 26th. It's a 12-week program. If you're interested, please call the Tinley Park Police Department at 708-444-5300. Let them know that you're interested in the Citizens Police Academy. Give them your information, and you will be contacted by someone from the police department. It runs on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is a big commitment. It's well worth it. It's in the wintertime, so we'll give people an opportunity for something to do on a cold Thursday night. and it's enjoyable. And people really get a lot out of it. As we were saying earlier too, it gives us an additional set of eyes and ears because people now know not to get involved, not to personally get involved in a situation. The best thing you can do is pick up that telephone, call the police. But they also learn to get identifiers. What did the person look like? What did the person, what were they driving? What clothes were they wearing? Certain things like that. And it helps us when we're trying to investigate.
Yeah, so it helps the police department to have these knowledgeable people out there
Absolutely.
seeing what's going on, right?
Right. Exactly. And I think one thing too is like they were saying, you call in and okay, what did you hear? What did you see? And you don't know. But here you're looking at things in a different perspective. And yeah, it was a black sedan. Okay. What kind was it? Was it, if you can recognize, maybe not get the plates, but that. But even there's a million black sedans or driving around.
Right.
But the muffler was broken, or it's got fumes coming out. So you are giving some kind of identification so that can help them narrow out the scope if they have to go find this person. So you learn a lot in that sense. But again, it's being part of the solution.
Okay.
And also, helping the community, and police department too.
Right. And the Alumni Association, what do you have to do with that? What do you guys do?
Well, once we finished the courses, we didn't want to give it up. We loved it. I mean, it was so much fun.
Wow.
So the Alumni Association, we do have, I'd say, one of the best citizen police academies in the nation. It's nationwide and Canada too. But ours is really, really wonderful in this area. So we want to continue with education. If you missed a class, you can attend again. We also got our 501c3 this year, which means that we can start fundraising for the police department because this class and all is paid for it's free to the citizens, but it is comes out of the police budget. Okay. And so what we want to do is that, if there's a wish list that they have and what can we do for them? We volunteer, like at the parades and all that, or at all the different events. So when they call and say, we need some volunteers to help the police department, we do that too.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're social too. We have a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Picnics, baseball games,
Oh my goodness.
Christmas parties. So we try to do, classrooms, fellowship, and events.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. And there's quite a few of you still now. They say about 150 graduates?
The graduates, sure. And what we do is we reach out to the past graduates, and every year we have our membership drives that we come together, and and so it's a continuing program, not only when you graduate, but also afterwards, that you can still, and you can do as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
You're not expected to do anything. If you just want to come to meetings, that's fine.
Okay.
If you just want to donate or there's something for everyone.
Wow.
And you have to be 21. That's one thing I forgot.
Thank you.
Yeah, 21 or older, right?
Okay.
And but besides that, it's worthwhile, and I think every resident or business owners,
Business owners as well,
may
yeah.
also should take this. Would love it. You would really enjoy
I
that.
thought about that. It would be good for a business owner to get an idea what's going on too.
Because they have a vested interest in the community as
Sure.
well, so they need to know what's going on, and they're a partner just as much as a resident is. They have
Right.
they have an interest in the town, so
Right.
we'd like to include them as well.
Beautiful. Well, I'd say I give the police for a lot of credit. In my personal opinion, I think that Tinley Park has one of the best around here, and I've known several officers, a couple of my former students, but they do a tremendous job. I've never seen one that's not excellent officer, and a good public relations people too. So congratulations to
Thank
your
you.
officers on that, and good luck to you and the Alumni Association.
Yeah.
Keep that activity going.
Yes, sir.
We have a lot of good things going to happen out of you all. The Citizen Police Academy, excellent program to learn what's going on in town here from our police department. Thanks for watching Discover Tinley. We'll see you next month.